Hey, we are good evening. Good evening. This is me and my show host. I hope she's connected. I hope. I have to switch cameras, folks. So there's technical issue. There may be a tick, but I doubt it. No, it should work okay. The camera, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, maybe a better angle. Anyhow, thank you. Welcome to What's Cooking in Columbia City. Hello, is everybody here? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Reginald, come on in.
Hey, here I am.
The illustrious Monsieur Ball. I didn't want to invite you. I couldn't invite you because, I didn't want to usurp Mr. Presidente's authority, Roberto. So I said, bring a guest wherever you want. But you're the one that got me connected. But thank you. And you did a great job on that display during Black History Month. That was really good. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor and the privilege of introducing one of the most illustrious members of our community, a transplanted Los Angeles. Yeah, I don't know if that even, do they even have a word? Los Angeles?
Angelino.
Angelino. Mr.
Yeah.
Reginald Ball, outstanding basketball player, but most importantly, a great father, a great family man, and a great leader in our community. He does a lot for folks. And like I said, I'm so honored to have you. I would, same for Roberto, does a lot for the community, a great athlete. But I want to talk about the Royal Esquire Club. I was able to get the picture on. It was a good picture. It's one of the better pictures that I was able to put on the screen and talk about what's going on. The history of the Royal Esquire Club is, and co-host Brenda Charles is here. So we know a little bit about the history, but hey, Brenda, how are you?
Good, John. How are you?
Fine. This is great.
Yeah. How you doing, Brenda?
I'm fine, Reggie. How are you?
All right.
Just fine.
So you all know each other. That's good. So
no.
Mr. Reginald Ball, meet Miss Brenda Charles Edwards, one of my wife's best friends. Only, so I have to keep it clean because she'll tell my wife what it. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways,
John, Roberto is in the waiting room somewhere. I spoke to him previously, and
he should be. Yeah, Daniel. If he's in, Daniel can get him. Nah, he's not here yet. Because you got in and you're automatically queued in whenever you hit that, URL.
Mm-hmm.
That link, you're in automatically. You don't have to do anything else. So he'll come in. But anyways, we're talking about, and Brenda, I kind of let in and had a few good words to say about Mr. Ball, who I've been knowing since he gravitated to this part of the country. He's a Los Angelino. He corrected me. He's a Los Angelino. He was an outstanding basketball player down in LA. Because you had rival Dorseys. You had Dorsey. You had
Fremont.
Yeah,
Jefferson, LA High School.
LA High School, Roosevelt. All them schools down there. But anyways, because I know, I saw your name and I knew you. And oh God, Larry Pounds, Larry out of Inglewood, right?
Right. A little younger, a little behind me.
Yeah, but hey,
I'd like to say that I've been in Seattle since 1969, so yes. I'm more of a Seattle. I've got web feet, so it's all good.
I was just going to ask you about that. I was going to say you should have web feet.
Oh yeah. If you don't have web feet and don't do anything in the rain, you would never do anything. You would never get anything accomplished.
That's right.
That's hilarious. But anyways, we're so privileged to have you and Roberto. As soon as Roberto gets his okay, Roberto's muted, but he'll come on. I guess his camera. Now, either way, we wanted to. Hey, Roberto, you're in. You're looking good.
Well, you guys are too. Hey, Brenda.
Hi, Roberto. How are you?
How you doing? I'm good.
I'm good, thanks.
How come you guys? Oh, there you go. We switched sides. They switched you over. Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it, and thank you, Mr. Ball, for coming. And Brenda, like I said, I did a little intro. I'll just real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I've invited Roberto Jourdan, president of the Royal Esquire Club in Seattle. And Reginald, what's your title? Are you vice? Do you have a title?
I'm vice president.
Yeah, that's what I thought, vice president. And also the guy that gets it done, because he worked on that display. He was there for hours, man. And that was really a great display. But anyways, we wanted to bring you in because the whole purpose of the show, Brenda and I got together, and this is back, Brenda was really good about saying, hey, we need to recognize and honor the organizations and the businesses in the Columbia City area, because we just moved into Columbia City a while back.
Right.
We're at the theater. And so, and literally you're within what, 20 yards of us, just up the street. And so we wanted to, again, highlight especially the things that you're also going through. I heard a number of things that you got the entertainment venue, and you got that wonderful kitchen there. Comfort, what's the Comfort Kitchens, isn't it?
Comfort.
Yeah. My wife keeps telling me I got to go down there and get some fried chicken, but I heck.
John,
Yes.
John, why don't we let them tell us?
Yes, I know.
about the Royal Esquire
so
Club
excited.
and how it got started and where they're going now.
Since 1948, the year I was born. So please, Mr. President and Mr. Vice President, it is your show. Please hit us with it and let us know a little bit about the history and your role and the kinds of things we're looking forward to coming up. Okay, Brenda, I'll be quiet.
I'm going to go and time you.
Royal Esquire Club got started in 1948 due to oppression and racism. There were 5 brothers that were not having any good luck on going someplace for entertainment and actually caring about the community and the community having entertainment also. So they started the Royal Esquire Club in 1948. Started in an office downtown. On the second floor of accounting office. Mm-hmm. And then they moved into a house at 14th and Washington. And they were there for a while, and then the eminent domain came in when Bailey Gassert, city decided to put Bailey Gassert there, and so then made the Royal Esquire Club offer they couldn't refuse, and they essentially said, we want this land, and so we'll give you a little bit of money for it, and the whole deal like that. And so that's when in 1986, I believe, went to the 5016 Rainier Avenue South, and that's where the Royal Esquire Club is up to this day. Due to racism and other things, they weren't allowed to get a liquor license. And so there ended up being a protest of sorts where they had a caravan down to Olympia to go to the offices down there in the state and actually sit on the steps in order to get their liquor license. And so it's because those brothers fought and they came through and were able to get the liquor license where we are today. Go ahead, Reggie.
I was just going to say they end up meeting with Governor Rossellini. And after they talked with him, he made a call. And I guess, and the story goes that by the time they got back to Seattle, they had a permit for a liquor license on the door of the club. So it typically makes a difference if it's who you know or who you speak to.
Always.
Yeah. Well, Albert D. Rossellini literally grew up in the Central area as a kid. Yeah, he went to Washington. He told me he went to Washington Junior High School as a kid. Believe it or not, yeah. So, but no, that's a great story. But let me just add this. Reading up about it, you guys are nationally recognized, and you guys have a following, and you're considered one of the best clubs west of the Mississippi, which is really unique when you think about it. Pacific Northwest, way up here, unbelievable.
Yes.
That's my 2 cents.
Well, that's the history. And a lot of times we talk about the founders, and we'll say the 5 brothers, but their names are Doyle Barner, Frederick Bomar, William Childress, Freddie Ray, and Joe West. And so, we'll talk about the 5 brothers. We don't really say their names. And so I just want to put their names out there as the ones that actually were the founders of the Royal Esquire Club. And 75 years later, we're still here and continuing on. They'd probably be proud of the fact that our building is bought and paid for. We don't owe anybody any money on the building. And so they'd probably be a little proud of us. So we're thankful for that.
And the fact that we also have 2 tenants. We have the restaurant Comfort Zone in the building, and the Royal Room on the corner there of Hudson is also part of that property. So I think they would be pleased with the fact that we were able to not only incorporate this business here, but to incorporate another business in the community.
Right.
So what are the hours that the Royal Esquire is open? And is it open to the public, or is it like a membership club?
The Royal Esquire Club, we are a membership club that is serving the community. So that's what we're doing. And in most cases, what we have is the people that are coming in are either members or they're guests of the Royal Esquire Club come in. We're a 501c7, so it's not like we can just go on the radio and say, okay, we're having this, or go on TV and say we're having that. But at the same time, we can invite guests, we can invite members to come down, and we'll have fundraisers, especially to raise for scholarships and other things of that nature. But if you get invited, and if you got your own little circle, and everybody else has a circle, there's 100 of us there, and so everybody has their own circle. So we end up inviting folks to come down to Royal Esquire Club.
Well, let me ask you, Richard and or Roberto, how many? You said 100 active members right now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What's the capacity of the Esquire Club?
The Esquire Club is 275 folks that are upstairs, and then downstairs we hold another 75.
Oh. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Well, no, go ahead, Reginald.
I was just saying, as Roberto mentioned, the club was originally kind of a private club, and then it opened up to the community. They sponsored all kinds of balls, political, non-political, used the club as a meeting place. And we still do. We still have a Christmas giveaway, a Black Santa. We do a fish fry in the summer. And as they started years ago, they had a black and white ball, which they honored members. And we increased to an icon night where we honored, as Roberto knows, many of our local civic leaders and or community leaders. And even John and his brother were honored one night when we had coaches icons there.
Thank you. I mean, you had one too many, my brother, but that's okay. But you guys do more than, you guys have got a far reach. You raise money for, during COVID. And I think Reginald, didn't you sit in for Santa one time at the Christmas thing? Yeah, I thought I saw a picture of you. But how were you able to stay afloat, with your doors open during this period of time? That's the big question, because some businesses folded, but the beauty of this, and this is why we wanted to do a show, many of the businesses were able to stay in organizations. So how did you guys do it?
What we did, because we owned our building, right? We weren't in the same predicament as a lot of places. But we did have some employees, and so we had employees. So we had a grant writer Carl Copeland was able to write some grants to be able to sustain the employees. We actually were able to get a few grants to help with the business because, I mean, there was a lot of lost revenue, that was there. And so, you know, the government was helping with the lost revenue and things of that nature. We as Royal Esquire clubs, we're all volunteer. All the board is all volunteer. The members are all volunteer. So everybody down there is volunteering at the club. So it's not as though we have a whole lot of people that we have to pay, but there are folks in there that we had to pay, and so we were able to do it that way. During the time that we had the doors closed, we were able to do some remodeling. And the picture that you have up there, John, is kind of that's the old picture of the Esquire Club. See, that's that old awning. That one of the things we did. You know, we had some wood. The building's over 100 years old, and so we had time to take down some rotting wood, put up some new wood, put up some new awning, and then go inside. And so we pretty much went through there and did a lot of work there. Got the floor, reinforced the floor, and when we reinforced the floor, the bar fell down, so we had to build a new bar. So so you know, it wasn't like you could take the bar, move it to one side, and then bring it back again, right? So we went ahead and we want to make sure that the community had a place that they could be proud of to have their events in. And so we went through and tried to really put our heads together to try to make as nice a place as we could for the community. One of the things we used to get complaints about was our bathrooms all the time. So that was one of the main things that we had to really take and put a lot of effort into so that nobody was talking about the Esquire Club bathrooms anymore.
Especially the women.
Yeah.
Well,
well, we understand. We took those bathrooms down to the studs and built them back up. So
good. Glad to hear it.
They're clean and proper.
Yeah, very good. Hey, I apologize for that old picture, but that's the best. Hey, man, my level of technology, it was lucky we could get that picture on.
Yeah, no problem.
You guys
a lot of people probably remember that picture, but the color scheme is also changed out front too.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Nice awning. Let's talk about some of the events that you guys do. You guys do this. I've been down there on a Friday night, a bunch of times. You guys, the one thing that impresses me is that you also bring outside acts in, but you also bring a number of, Lonnie Williams, people that I know, Herman Brown, people that are local in the community that are well known as musicians, and you guys have done that as a mainstay. Plus, I love your dress code.
Yeah.
I love your dress code. I mean,
what's the dress code?
Oh man, you come in there with your pants sagging, you will not be admitted.
Yeah, no. There's no pants sagging ever in the Royal Esquire Club. Even if it's dressed down, there's no sagging. You can't be in there with a hood on. T-shirt. So especially on first Friday, it's no t-shirts, no jeans, no athletic shoes, and so we have you dressed up in there, and a lot of people think that we're just doing it just to be doing it, but
no,
folks do not fight and folks do not fuss when they're dressed up.
Yeah.
They might give you the eye, or they might call you this or that, but there's no jumping up. Nobody wants to rip that suit, and nobody wants to tear that dress or mess those shoes up or mess that hair. You wanna, and so for the most part, we haven't had any problems because folks are dressed up in there on first Friday, and makes quite a difference.
And all your members dress appropriately because you're setting a tone and a model, because that's really important. I think so.
Exactly. So
I think one of the earlier themes for the club was networking on Friday night, and people came in business casual, and
right.
You look like you're a professional. Not necessarily have to be one, but you look nice and dressed appropriate, and everybody else dressed the same way. So it was more very consistent.
Yep.
And people would pass by and say, "Where are all these well-dressed black folks going? Going to the Royal Esquire Club."
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Roberto,
Yeah.
what's the qualifications to get a membership at the Royal Esquire Club?
The qualifications are you come in and you meet a member, and you essentially let us know that you're interested in being a member of the Royal Esquire Club. And what we do is we'll give you a application, and there's a few interview process that go through. Tell us about yourself, why you want to be part of the Esquire Club, and within that process, we let them know what we stand for. That we're not getting paid to do any of this. You don't just sign and then you're automatically in. We have a few meetings that we go through. You have to come in there and essentially do some sort of work for the club. I mean, our main job is to take care of that building. It's a big building. We want to make sure that it is inviting for the folks that are coming in there. And we have folks work at events. And so we want to make sure that folks that come in there feel like kings and queens. Our customer service is one of our main attributes. And so we want to make sure that that person doesn't have any problem with, making sure that the customer's right, if that's the case, and having a good customer service. So it's a little bit of process that goes through. Might last about 3 weeks or so. Then we have a probationary period where we make sure you aren't just being nice for those 3 weeks, so that you can become a member of the Royal Esquire Club. And then so it's we're going to be drawn to people that are like that want to help out, that are looking out for other people, and want to have something that we can leave in perpetuity to the Black community going forward, on and on.
Oh, that's great.
No, I was going to say that we have, in our recent membership drive, we've kind of focused on younger members, younger than us. So the club has a resource to continue on. And we try and set a good example by being good stewards in the community and doing good things for young folks, elderly folks, and what have you. And so as head of security, we try and keep a situation. Well, that guy over here made me that.
Well,
That's good. I like that.
There's a volunteer piece that Roberto didn't fully explain. We asked them to volunteer and do things that may be uncomfortable for them, like working till 2 o'clock in the morning, just making sure that the grounds are good, the place is taken care of after we close up, and checking ID and so forth. And these are things that people want to get paid for, but it's part of the volunteer piece that we do: cleaning the club, fixing up things that might be broken or in need of repair. We put up the siding, like you mentioned. We put up the siding all over the building, painted sides of it. So it's a group participation. It's a group wannabe. We want the place to be to look nice for the public and for ourselves.
Yeah. Well,
so Reggie, I've been wanting to ask this question. Could you just tell us a little bit about the food that's served there?
Yes, we have the restaurant that's in there. It's called Comfort Zone. Kaya Miller and Ardala Shan are the proprietors, and it's Southern type fried food. No, well, not all of it, but one of the mainstays is fried wings and fried chicken. Yes. They offer shrimp dishes, greens, red beans and rice, cheese grits,
pork chops,
meatloaf,
gumbo,
oxtails,
gizzards,
fried gizzard, yep, cornbread, peach cobbler, some pound cake,
sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie.
Oh my God.
And sweet tea.
Oh my God.
Oh, well.
Yeah, sweet tea.
That sounds like even if you didn't have music, you're having fine dining,
Come
and
down.
everyone definitely wants to be there.
My
Yeah,
wife,
it's definitely finger licking good.
my wife says we got to go down and get the fried chicken wings. Fried chicken.
Must.
John, you have to be invited, don't you?
Yes. Maybe I can get an invite from either one of these
The
gentlemen.
restaurant is a tenant of ours. So
Oh, okay.
So you free to go in and out as you want to the restaurant. So they're a tenant, just like the Royal Room. They have their own set of rules.
Right.
Anybody can come and go as they please in the Royal Room. So they're Steve and those guys are over there, and they're kind of owners of that business, and they have their whole thing going on. So they have music over there that's a little different than ours, more of a jazz scene, and they have they're doing quite well over there also. So
changing up a little bit, the heart of it is I am so impressed with what the Royal Esquire Club does for the community, supporting the HBCU program. You guys helped us out and when I was working census, you helped us out with census, because that is one of the biggest bugaboos for communities of color, is getting people to respond, because that means if we don't respond, we don't get the dollars.
Right.
You guys are really, really helpful on that. And all the other things that go on, sickle cell, all these things that come up and impact the community. And more power to you guys. And like I said, the fact that you recognize also your members, but also people in the community, was really, really impressive. And I was really honored. But I'm standing there with people and say, "Oh my gosh, I did." You look around and as well as you guys, the guys that make up the club membership, you got a mayor that's a member, an active member. So
not since 19. He hasn't been a member since 2019.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you guys, our time is up. I hate to tell you that. I'm trying to give you the time out.
Oh, yeah, we got no time.
Roberto, tell
Yes.
your wife I said hello.
I will.
And thank you guys for coming on.
We're having a party this Saturday night. Called
That's
The
what's
Harder They
cooking in
Fall.
Philadelphia City is the Esquire Club Saturday night.
Cowboy hats and girl hats, and then we're having a comedian on June 10th.
Okay.
Cowboy wear you. The Harder They Fall. Show up.
Hey,
Michael Bonner, great comedian. Great comedian.
We will have you guys back. I mean,
Please do.
30-minute show is nothing. But Reginald, Roberto, thank you guys very much, Mr.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having
All right. See you guys later.
Bless.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.